Hello, today I will be reviewing how to create one-to-many relationships. Relationships can be created under multiple reasons, like attaching pricing from multiple vendors for a part or parts, mapping accessories to a part or parts, or even creating bundles with multiple parts in them. In a one-to-many relationship, one record in a category can be associated with one or more records in another category. In this example, we will show how a part or parts can be purchased from multiple vendors. So the first thing that we need to do is to create two categories. We go to the thick client, we click on Classification Manager, and we will create two categories under root. The first category will be the category where we're going to load random parts. And the second category that we will create is a category for vendors. We will call it random vendors. Click on update. Now we can see that two categories have been created. So now we go to the import manager and we will create random parts. This is the Excel file that I will be using. I don't have any attributes, so I'm just creating new parts. We can close it. We go to item data, we click on browse, and we look for that file that I just showed you, random parts. We click on next, Excel, we click on next, item options. The default category is the category where we are creating those parts. So I go back to Classification Manager, I copy the path. Now we go to Import Manager and I will call this random parts testing. You can name it however you like. Since these are new parts, we select create next to operation. Item number is mapped to the item number, and for the qualifier we will just keep it as it is. So it is part.0, and we will use this qualifier to map the relationships. So just keep that in mind, part.0. Everything seems correct. Now we can click on next, next, validate. We see no errors. Next, import. Now we're done. We can go to the DFR online to see if those parts were created. So I go to Smart Find, I click on root, and then you can see the random parts category. We click on them and we see those 10 random parts. So they were successfully created. Now we will use this spreadsheet to create our vendors. So vendor codes, that is the item number. I will show you later how to change that defaulted attribute name item number to vendor codes. And then we have two additional attributes, vendor names and vendor pricing. We need to create those attributes in Smart Class. So I can close this now. We go to Smart Class, we select attributes, and we will add a new attribute called vendor names. Hit OK. We update the description. Now save. The attribute has been created. We will create the next attribute, vendor pricing. Hit on apply. Vendor pricing. We save it. And those two attributes have been created now. Now we can go back to the thick client. We go to Import Manager, Item Data, Browse, and we look for that file to create the new vendors, random vendors. We open, click on Next, Import Format, Excel, click on Next, Item Options. We will use the root for the random vendors, paste it over the default category, and we will name this random vendors testing. There you go. Operation, we will use create since we're creating these new vendors, and for the item number we will map it to vendor codes. And for the qualifier, in this case we will delete the 0, we will keep the part dot as it was for the random parts, and we will add pricing. You can actually name this however you like, and in this case I will name it part.pricing, and this is used to map the relationships. So now we can see that those two attributes that were created, they have been mapped automatically. So now everything seems correct. We click on next, next, validate, no errors, next, import, done. We go back to the DFR online, we go to smart class, we go to smart find, click on root, we can see that the category has been created. Now we click on the random vendors, and there they are. We see all the new vendors. We do not see the two attributes that we created, so we need to add them. We go to smart class, classification, root, we look for the category random vendors, and we add those two attributes, vendor names, we hit OK, and vendor pricing. Here it is, we hit OK. We go back to smart find, we do a refresh, and now we can see the vendor names and the vendor pricing. We go back to smart class one more time, and we will make these two attributes key attributes. This way when we do our relationship they will show. So we set them as key,